What is your American dream?
My mom came to the United States with a dream, and the dream was really very simple. It was to get herself to a place where she could bring her children up to make sure they had a better life. They thrived in an environment that would recognize their talents and reward their hard work. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she was 64 when she took on the task of raising 3 grandkids after having had 7 children of her own. She took it on to raise her daughter's 3 kids. We're living the dream of those 2 great women, and I would say yes, we did achieve the American dream.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is June 1st, 2021. It is the day after Memorial Day, and since it's Tuesday tea here on Bradshaw Live. Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, Vanessa Nesquik Contreras, how you guys doing?
Feeling good, feeling refreshed.
It sounds like somebody's in an airplane, but hopefully they'll fix that, at least in my ear. Like somebody's flying through the sky.
Oh, man.
Now it's fixed. I don't know what happened.
Is it fixed?
But now it is fixed.
Oh, we out here.
You guys look well rested after a nice 3-day weekend, huh?
It was great. How was yours?
Mine was very, I guess, to use millennial language, chill. I was very chill. You like that, huh?
I like that.
Yeah? Trying to relate.
Chill.
Look very refreshed and chill.
I was relaxed and chill all weekend long. Actually was working Saturday and Monday. So I don't no rest for the weary. Yet I saw, Jonathan, no rest for the weary down in Washington D.C.
That's all.
What was happening down there in Washington?
Just a getaway, a little weekend getaway.
Not bad.
Yeah.
and I saw Vanessa modeling some bathing suits, going out on the town or whatever you were doing.
All of it, all of the above, Brad.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
I got my eyes on everybody here. Let's see what's going on with the squad. Let's say hello to them. Jessica Leamy, how are you? Pepe Samuel saying hi. Maureen McFarland, squad up. How are you? Joan Grant. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Pretty Chef Ferreira. Pretty chef. Always like a pretty chef, right? Attractive and a good cook. Not bad. Not a bad combination. Pretty Chef Ferreira. Early for class today. Good day, everybody. How are you? Denise Johnson Green, squad up. Willie L. Williams, squad up. Sandra Rose, Sasha Ford, Marcia McCalla. And let's see what's going on YouTube. Shan saying hi, Brad. How are you? The whole Ford family says squad up. The entire family. Westman, Verona Williamson, squad up. Tally. What's going on? Hope you had a nice weekend. The Top Cat Tigress 2. Carol, the Top Cat Anderson, saying hi, Brad team. Charlotte Muzo, squad up. Jamana Tawari with the pre-question of the day. And Jamana's question is, hello, sir. I am a United States citizen. I need to know what is 5 years rule for remarriage and sponsorship for a new spouse. Well, if you are a United States citizen, the rule does not apply to you. It only applies to people who got their green cards through marriage, who have not yet obtained their United States citizenship. So if you got a green card through marriage and then subsequently divorced your spouse and are not yet a U.S. citizen, you have to wait 5 years from the date that you got your green card to file for your new spouse. That doesn't mean you can't get married before the 5 years, just means you can't put in the papers before the 5 years. But if you're a United States citizen, the rule doesn't apply to you at all. So there is no 5-year rule for U.S. citizen. And as Jamani asked me, says, hello, sir, I'm a U.S. citizen. So right there off the bat, I know the rule does not apply to you. And Kelsey Osario, also with a pre-question of the day. What if ICE fails to give you a copy of your your restatement order? I thought he says the restaurant order. The reinstatement order. Okay, I guess you were reinstated your deportation. And he told them you had a fear, but they never sent you to an asylum office. Does my husband have a chance to stay up here? We have a son. No, that's not the process. Okay? The process is that you have to make a credible claim for Convention Against Torture within 15 days of the reinstatement order. If it's not about them serving you, it's about when the judge says your deportation, or when immigration says your deportation's reinstated. It's reinstated because your husband got deported and then re-entered after a deportation without permission from immigration. So if you re-enter the United States without permission from immigration, your deportation gets reinstated. You actually don't have a process at all to go through. You just get deported. And the only time you don't get deported is if you can apply for something called Convention Against Torture. You're not applying for asylum. You're applying for Convention Against Torture, that your life's in danger if you go home. Don't deport me. And that has to be done within 15 days of the reinstatement order. All right. And by the way, sounds like you probably need help. Tali, thumbs up on YouTube. We like that, Tali. Keep that up. Tali, by the way, she doesn't get hired by us. She's not paid by us. She just loves us and says she wants everybody to give us thumbs up. So thank you very much. And Sharon Cuthbert says, hi, Uncle Brad. And all right, I'll do one more pre-question of the day. And by the way, Charlotte Muzo says, it's so good to see the White House without masks. Congratulations to America on the fight against COVID-19. But Hamachi, is it Hamachi? No. Hamachi, it's Hicham Delahi. Hicham Delahi says, please, sir, I really need your help. I applied for my spouse and minor children in 2017 with my green card. They are still in Morocco, now just waiting for an interview, but I'm about to become a United States citizen. That's not really a question. It's a statement. You need my help. There is a telephone number scrolling on the bottom. It says to get help, call 1-800-529-5465. But I'm going out of order. Jonathan and Vanessa, why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. All right, squad. Now remember to share, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines and immigration news, including President Biden's immigration policy changes that he has outlined in a new budget request.
And it's Tuesday, squad, so it's time for some piping hot celebrity tea, including tennis pro Naomi Osaka announcing that she's withdrawing from the French Open.
That was a big deal. We got to talk about that. And
big deal.
And of course, give us a call at Spar and Bernstein. The telephone number scrolling on the bottom, 1-800-529-5465. The telephone number internationally is +1 212-227-8933. It's 1-800-529-5465. And later in the show, I'm going to speak to Adolfo Gonzalez, who, despite arriving in the United States from Mexico as an undocumented alien and working for many years in the fields of California, picking celery, graduated with his bachelor's degree from California State University in Monterey at age 58 and is now a teacher. He went from running across the border, working on the farms for years, to eventually spending a lot of time in college, doing it very, very slowly. But at 58, he finally graduated, and now he's giving back to his community teaching. It was a really beautiful, beautiful story. And with that, let's get into something we like to call Schmoozing with Brad.
Schmoozing with Brad.
Yo, Vanessa, the squad, everybody. All right, so today marks the beginning of the 8th annual Immigrant Heritage Month, a nationwide effort throughout June to gather and share and celebrate the inspirational stories of immigrants in America. The White House released a proclamation from President Biden today declaring June National Immigrant Heritage Month, stating, across each generation throughout our history, wave after wave of immigrants have enriched our nation and made us better, stronger, more innovative, and more prosperous. Now, spearheaded by the I Am an Immigrant campaign, the Immigrants Initiative 2021 invites all Americans to explore their heritage while celebrating America's strength reflected in our diversity, built over generations, and the countless contributions immigrants have made. Now, this year's celebration also features some partnerships with companies like DoorDash. In 2019, DoorDash launched its Kitchen Without Borders initiative, which helps support immigrants and refugee businesses. This year, they're celebrating Immigrant Heritage Month by matching all loans on Kiva for immigrant and refugee-owned businesses. For more information, you can visit www.iamanimmigrant.com. And by the way, I don't know what Kiva, I never heard of, I don't know what Kiva is. I got to look into this. They're giving loans out to immigrant and refugee-owned businesses. If you are an immigrant or if you're an owner of a business and you're an immigrant and a refugee, check out Kiva, I guess. That's pretty good. It's a nonprofit who gives loans, I'm told. That's very nice.
Oh.
All right. Also, besides Immigrant Heritage Month, it's also Gay Pride Month. All right. Pride, yes, it's celebrated every June. As a matter of fact, I was just telling Jill, I realized I went to Calvin Klein over the weekend because I had to buy some Calvin Kleins, some new undergarments. It's not hump day, underwear. And everything was pride colors. And I'm like, I don't want yellow underwear, I just want plain white. But they're celebrating it too. So, and by the way, on June 28th, 1969, you know where it all started? It started right here in New York City in a gay club in Greenwich Village called the Stonewall Inn. And the police raided the Stonewall Inn. It resulted in bar patrons, staff, and neighborhood residents rioting onto Christopher Street. The movement continued over 6 days. They were going to arrest people who were in what it was a same-sex club. You weren't allowed to do that. And and they were. Can you imagine in 1969 you couldn't be in a gay club. So Pride Month is largely credited as being started by bisexual activist Brenda Howard, known as the Mother of Pride. Brenda organized Gay Pride Week and the Christopher Street Liberation Day Parade a year after the Stonewall riots. Bill Clinton was the first U.S. president to recognize Pride Month in 1999. Barack Obama declared June LGBT Pride Month. And Donald Trump even recognized it, the pumpkin. He even recognized Pride Month with a tweet announcing that his administration had launched a global campaign to decriminalize homosexuality. Today, the White House released a statement from President Biden proclaiming June 2021 as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month. You ever go down to the parades there? The Gay Pride Parade in Greenwich Village? It's a pretty crazy parade.
I covered it 2 years ago.
That's right, I remember.
Another media outlet, yeah.
Yes, I remember.
It's a lot of love.
Yes.
A lot of love, great energy.
A lot of love.
Everybody's happy.
It's a fun day just to even watch and be a bystander. And we
Yeah.
covered,
for
but
sure.
we covered it too, I believe. I don't know. I don't know if it was you who went down, but somebody covered it. It was somebody else, maybe on the Bachelor.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
But we didn't have it last year, so I don't remember what was done.
It's just so
before.
great to see how far history's come, how differently the conversation is now compared to 1969.
I wonder, maybe Jill can tell me the answer in my ear. I wonder, are they having a gay pride parade this year, or they're still not going to do it?
Oh, right.
They are having it. They are having it, Jill says.
Oh, wow.
They are.
Yes, on June 26th.
I think that's when New York will feel like New York again, like big
Right,
crowds,
'cause that's like-
big,
Well,
Y'all
that's
about
like
to
one
feel
of the
it.
biggest parades.
Did you see Madison Square Garden with the Knick game was packed, and there was
Yeah.
nobody wearing a mask.
It looked crazy.
Yeah, there was nobody wearing a mask there. And President Biden, he has outlined his policy changes in a budget that he wants for the Immigration Service that was outlined on Friday. He wants to eliminate any funding for the border wall. He wants to boost spending on care for unaccompanied children, and he wants to overhaul the way the asylum seekers are handled at the Mexican border. He also wants to hire 100 more additional immigration judges so that people could have their removal hearings and their asylum hearings in removal much quicker. Hopefully that's done. Now, advocates have expressed disappointment that there's still tens of thousands of ICE detention beds. Many of them are really unnecessary. They're not. These beds are being slept in by people who are just fleeing persecution and don't have show any reason to not show up to court and show no reason to harm anybody in a community, but still being held in detention.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Michael Flynn, who was one of the first people convicted of many people who were in the Trump orbit, and also he was pardoned by Donald Trump. He was a former general. He was convicted of lying to federal investigators regarding his connections to Russian and Ukrainian agents. Well, he went to a QAnon question and answer session over the weekend, and when asked a question, I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here. And in Myanmar, what happened was when the military decided that the election was a fraud, they basically arrested all the democratically elected leaders of Myanmar and took over the entire country. You know, we don't know for sure if it was a fraud or not, but that's what happened. The military took over the country. It was a coup. Democratically elected leaders, they said the election was a fraud. And Michael Flynn, who was the national security advisor to Donald Trump until he got arrested, or was supposed to be, he said there is no reason it shouldn't happen here too. A general of the United States of America, former general, a person who would have been the national security advisor, saying in a conference this past weekend that the military should take over the United States because Joe Biden was elected in a fraud and he should be arrested. Can you imagine?
What?
Yeah, what? Like what
Can
world,
we imagine? We're living this.
What world are we living in here? Right. So after pleading guilty to making false statements to the FBI during the Mueller investigation, Flynn moved to withdraw his plea. I said all of this. Ridiculous.
That's insane.
Now, according to CNN, 1 in 10 people charged in the U.S. Capitol insurrection were actually veterans or current servicemen. 10%,
Wow.
45 of the approximate 450 defendants who were arrested in the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th were military or former military. Does that surprise you?
I was about to say, it doesn't surprise me.
Surprises me. Surprises
It
me.
surprises you?
Yeah.
That 1 in 10?
Yeah, it surprises me. I would think that they would that there was better training, but I don't know. You know, you would think somebody's in the military that they're, I don't know, that patriotic.
Listen, when
that they are,
if you-
they're I don't know what the word I'm looking for. That they're patriotic. That you know what happens to God, country, family, whatever that saying is in the Marines. You know, having an insurrection in the Capitol and going to try to bring Mike Pence out onto a guillotine and take his head off doesn't seem to me to be very patriotic or putting God, country, that type of, So I think that's the training that I would expect, people in the military to have and, to come out of the military to overthrow the government.
I feel like they felt like they were being patriotic. That's why they were wearing the red, white, and blue. It was just a little extreme, just like religious cults. They feel like they're being, religious and they're actually doing what God wants. But it's a little extreme. So I think that they thought that they were being patriotic.
Well, yes, absolutely. I just think that, I don't know, just seems to me that what they think and what they were doing is two different things, so it doesn't jive with me. But let's get to coronavirus.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. 135 million Americans are now fully vaccinated. 4 out of 10 Americans fully vaccinated. Today, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, head of the World Health Organization, warned that the coronavirus is deepening divergence in economic fortunes, and there's going to be negative consequences for all. I mean, that's been obvious everywhere coronavirus has hit, even here in the United States. The rich have gotten richer, the poor have gotten poorer, and that what you saw in the United States during the pandemic, you're now seeing worldwide. Rich countries will now be getting richer. Poorer countries that are not able to stop the spread of COVID will get poorer. I mean, that's, people who were able to make a living electronically by video, those people made money. And people who have to work with their hands, who have to provide a physical service to somebody, those people were not able to work. They got poorer. So you saw a big divergence in if you worked on Wall Street versus driving a taxi. You were in management in a company versus the guy who delivered a box. Although that's not a good example because Amazon did well and they were hiring a lot of people. But you were in construction. You're in construction, okay, versus the manager of a company. You were, I don't know, the chef in the restaurant versus, or the woman who works in the store.
Or the server.
The server, yeah. I mean, those people who had to do the physical labor.
Because even if it was still takeout, the chef was still in there, you just didn't need the server anymore.
Right.
For sure.
But the people who had to do the physical labor, and unless you were a frontline worker and you're putting your life in danger at that
essential workers.
point. Right. But other than that, they were staying home. If you weren't able to afford childcare and your children were home out of school, you couldn't work. And then, flip that with people who were able to make money electronically. And you saw the divergence, Jeff Bezos doubled his fortune. Elon Musk, if he didn't double his fortune, came close to it. The rich got richer, the poor got poorer during COVID.
Poor got poorer.
And you're going to see it now in the richer countries getting richer and the poorer countries having problems. You're going to see that worldwide now, unfortunately. Let's get to some Tuesday tea.
Let's do it.
Is there any tea anywhere? It's coming in.
Yeah.
We still have no butler. The butler's gone, but we have a producer who brought it into me.
But the tea is here.
The tea is here.
Most important part.
No sugar today. All right. I'll just drink it without.
What flavor, Bradford?
What flavor do we have today? It's some sort of herbal tea. I gotta look at. I'll tell you in a second. Let's see what we got.
Cheers, friend.
Cheers. It's peppermint tea.
Ooh, yummy.
So
you know what? We're still in the same box of tea, so let's just stop asking that.
All right, until we get through the. Well, you figure it's going to be 12 weeks of peppermint tea because there's 12 tea bags in a box, right?
Yes.
And then eventually, in about 12 weeks, you'll ask me, what's the new tea? Meanwhile, a lot of people have a lot of varying opinions. I have an opinion you're probably going to disagree with, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, on Naomi Osaka. She announced she was withdrawing from the French Open less than a week after she said she would not speak to the press during the tournament. She posted a withdrawal on Twitter yesterday in which she reiterated her struggles with anxiety, but admitted her message could have been clearer. Osaka's message began, "Hey everyone, this isn't a situation I ever imagined or intended when I posted a few days ago. I think now the best thing for the tournament, the other players, and my well-being is that I withdraw so that everyone can get back to focusing on the tennis going on in Paris. I never wanted to be a distraction. I accept that my timing was not ideal and my message could have been clearer." She said that she did not want to have any press conferences. And when the French Open found out that she did not want to do a press conference, they said they were going to fine her $15,000 for refusing to participate in a press conference every time she played a match, and at some point would disqualify her from the French Open. And she did not go to, or maybe behind the scenes, I don't know, she did not go to the officials of the French Open and say, you know, by the way, I really don't want to do these press conferences. I'm having anxiety issues and blah, blah, blah. As far as I'm aware, unless maybe there's something more to the story, she just decided and announced it on Twitter. Now, why this is a big deal is she's not just a regular tennis player. She's the number 2 player in the world. And she says that the truth is that I've suffered long bouts of depression since the U.S. Open in 2018. I've had a really hard time coping. I get really nervous and find it stressful to always try to engage and give the best answers I can. So, what do you think?
I feel for her.
I feel bad for her. Well, yeah, I have. Then I agree with you.
If you watch her interviews, especially like right after she won, like you can tell she's very socially awkward. She's, you know, you could tell she's an introvert. Especially the Ellen interview. You know, Ellen always tries to bring it out of you because, especially since she was so like quiet and stuff, and you could tell she was just so uncomfortable. And these are interviews she has to do. Mm-hmm. So like to suffer, you know, social anxiety and have to do these interviews. Like, I agree with her. It's better for your mental health to step away, and then when you feel better, then come back. That's her prerogative. Like,
now to Brad's point, I think it's just the term of like professionalism and communication in that sense, because I totally agree, right? But if it was more of a conversation sooner, then I don't know, maybe things could have gone down differently. Maybe there could have been different arrangements because they need her to perform. Like the most important thing for the Open is that she performs. So I felt like that could have been customized.
But also you have to understand, what is the purpose of a press conference? It's publicity for the tournament. The press conference is to get people to watch the tennis. So if there is no press conference, there is no publicity for the next round. This is a for-profit business at the end. So sports uses press conferences to get people excited to watch a sporting event so that they can make money and then they could pay the millions of dollars to these athletes. So if they're not willing to do the press conference, it's part of the deal of being a professional athlete. That's how I feel. Okay, so it is. Yo-Yo's looking at me wrong.
Those are big checks, bro.
It has something to do with mental health. You're supposed to go out.
I didn't. Wait. I didn't say that I don't feel bad for her, because I do. Because anybody who has, you know, depression and anybody who has mental health problems needs help. I'm not arguing any of that. What I'm saying is that, one, what Vanessa said is that she just kind of threw it on them at the end without making any other arrangements. And two, you have to understand this is a for-profit business. They use the press conferences. If people don't watch the French Open, they don't make money. They can't pay these big, you know, you can't expect, whether you have a mental illness or not, to go play tennis on the big stage at the French Open, say, I refuse to participate in any press conference, but if I win the tournament, I still want all the money. Part of the deal is participating in all of this.
But isn't she not playing? She took herself out.
But that is only a part of being a professional tennis player. It is not just the performance on the court. It's the performance all around, off the court, on the court, press conferences, and everything else. It's part.
I understand that.
It's part of the deal of being a professional. So
I understand that. But for me,
so that's why, you know, I feel bad that she has these problems. And having mental health problems is as debilitating as having physical problems. Okay, but to me, having a mental health problem and I'm saying this is as debilitating. It's like trying to play tennis with a broken arm or a broken leg. You can't do it. So if you are disabled physically, you're disabled mentally, you can't be playing as a professional on this level. That's my feeling. But yes, I feel bad for her.
I mean, there's just no like in or out of it, because it's like from one point, right, having so much conversation about like mental health and awareness, like I for sure understand where Yo-Yo's coming from, but I for sure understand that this is also a business, right? Like when people go into the league, and then it would almost be a disservice to the world if she would have not be so young and so talented and like had gone all the way, right? But like when you take that step into becoming a professional athlete, like, you know, you're stepping into a business. And I have a lot of friends like in leagues, and it's kind of the same thing.
Well, you see, this is exactly what leads
kind of sign your soul to the devil.
Entertainers, all of that. This is what leads them to drugs, suicide, depression, all of that, because they feel like they have to live for the world. Right. If she felt like she couldn't do it, she couldn't do it. Like when you go and do a commercial, you're getting paid because that brand is going to make money off of it. She's not going to be playing this year. So like, why would she go to the press conference just to make them money? No, like she gets paid for that. She doesn't. That's not what happens. If she doesn't want to do it, she shouldn't have to. That's the thing.
Right. She doesn't have to. But what I'm saying is,
if it's not signed in like the contract, like.
But what I'm saying is that it's part of the deal of being the professional is to do the press conference and do the publicity, just like part of the deal of making a movie is to go and do all the interviews before the movie comes out. All right?
I agree with.
It's the same thing. It's building publicity for the product that you're selling. And by the way, Sasha Ford says she supports her. I support her. I'm not saying I don't support
her. Too.
Nobody doesn't support her. All I'm saying is you have to deal with your emotional problems, and it's a disease like anything else, and you have to deal with it and then get back onto the court. You can't have it both ways. Say, I'm going to play tennis, but I'm not going to participate in everything. You can't do it, not as a professional at that level. That's what I'm saying.
Is she saying that she's going to play?
She said she was going to play, but didn't want to participate in any of the other press conferences because she is very, she doesn't want to deal with the press, especially now the press is hostile to her. Also, because she, if you remember, which tournament was it? It was one of the tournaments. The U.S. Open 2018, she wore 7 different then it was last year. She wore 7 different masks that had Breonna Taylor, Elijah McClain, Ahmaud Arbery. So she became political on the tennis court. And when she became political on the tennis court, I'm not saying her politics is wrong. She just became political on the tennis court. And then now, because she took a political stand, the press was more aggressive with her, which I assume got her very, very anxious, which how old is she? 20, 21-year-old? Not even.
She was super young.
Can you imagine the pressure?
Super young. All right. Plus, the pressure of playing tennis, okay? The pressure of being number 2 of the practice schedule and everything. It is absolutely
the Nike deals.
A pressure cooker. Nobody says it's not. And trust me, I feel bad for her. Okay, but just from my perspective, what you can't do is just say, I'm going to play tennis, but I'm not going to participate in anything else. You got to do the whole thing, and if you can't, then you got to take some time off and reevaluate what you're doing, how you're doing it, and everything else.
So should she have just said, I'm not going to play at all?
Yes.
instead of I'm not going to do
that-
the press conference.
But that's what she eventually did, but she didn't want to do it in the beginning.
That's what she eventually did. Yes,
Right,
but
but
she
she
should have
didn't
started
want-
off like that.
Correct.
Right, because low key, it's like she's trying to have her cake and eat it too.
Right.
But this
Correct.
That's
Correct.
not that. It's not that. How are you gonna say is she's
I mean,
trying to have her cake and eat it too when she can't physically go to these? She will have a breakdown.
But then
like
but
every
then
time she
that's
goes
why
to
but
what's the
you know,
arrangement now
having
should have
your cake
been it
and
from the
eat it.
beginning.
but it should have just been like I should.
I just feel like it's just so easy for people who don't have mental anxiety or mental breakdowns or don't have depressions. It's so much easier to talk for them. That's all I'm saying.
I'm on her side.
agree.
I'm on her side. I'm just saying you can't, as a professional.
You're on her side, and I would be on her side full throttle. I'm like,
No,
I understand where she's coming from.
What she.
I stand with her. That's all I'm saying. I
Okay.
stand with her.
I'm glad
the
you
whole
do
way.
stand with her. I'm happy about that. I stand with her too. I'm just saying that you can't say this is where the controversy was. The
Right.
controversy was
happening right now.
Okay,
It's
the
happening right
controversy was not that she has some sort of anxiety and fear of the press and mental issues that need to be resolved. Okay, that's not, and whether she's playing out. The issue was that she took it upon herself as the number 2 tennis player in the world to say, I'm gonna, for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna take a power play because the French Open needs me more than I need the French Open. And I'm going to say, I'm not doing press conferences because it makes me anxious and there's nothing they're going to do about it because they want me in the French Open. I'm the number 2 player in the world. And
Need you.
Right.
Not want you. They need
you. Right.
They needed her.
Right. And the French Open said, yes, we want you. Yes, we need you. But we need you to do everything else that everybody else is doing, which is do the press conferences, which publicizes our tournament, which gets eyes on the tournament. All right, what is the news going to say? What is the news going to talk about? News and press is free advertising. That's how they do it.
Yeah, I just think of the fact that the reason why she started tennis is because that is her safe zone. That is where she feels at home. That is her love. And for you to have something that can take away from that love, like this smile right here, it goes right away. There's no smile right when she goes to interviewing. It takes it away. So, I understand why she said, I can play tennis. That's why I did this in the first place. I'll show my talents to the world. This is where I feel safe. But when you go out to the media is super, super rough and they don't care about your well-being. They're going to ask these crazy questions and then they're going to take that little part of the interview, make it a headline.
That's
it's
right.
always, it's a lot. The entire world.
But there's
There's
a business here, and part of the business is doing the press conference. So you just can't say I'm going to go do half my job and expect to get paid full. That's what I'm saying, and then tell your boss this is what I'm going to do. You can't. I mean, because the boss is the French Open.
Agree to disagree.
But we're with
change.
her all the way.
But we're all on her. We're all on her.
We're all on her.
By the way, I knew when we
You already
started
knew.
that you and I were going to disagree, and I knew Vanessa would be in the middle, like, well.
No, I'm going to stand my ground.
All right. By the way, I think this says it all. By the way, and I think we would all agree with this. Martina Navratilova, you know who she is, former number 1 tennis player in the world, said, "I am so sad about Naomi Osaka. I truly hope she will be okay. As athletes, we are taught to take care of our body, and perhaps the mental and emotional aspect gets short shrift. This is about more than doing or not doing a press conference. Good luck, Naomi. We're all pulling for you."
Yes. At the end of the day, we all want her to be better.
I want her to be better, and I want to see her play tennis.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. What else is happening here? Kim Kardashian.
Oh, we haven't talked about the Kardashians in a while.
She did not pass the baby bar after 1 year of law school and suggested to her sisters she is now reconsidering her journey to becoming a lawyer. In certain states, you have to pass a baby bar exam
forgot she was on that.
Yeah, after your first year of law school to get to the second year, to be allowed to go take year number 2. You have to pass year number 1. She didn't pass.
I feel bad for her. Because she actually is doing work. I'm not gonna hold you. At first, when she came out and said she wanted to be a lawyer, I was like, what? But then the people that she's gotten out of jail is a lot more than other people who haven't helped.
Well, she got people out of jail, and by the way, I give her all the credit and
started their whole lives.
I give her all the credit for doing that. So I don't take any credit away from doing that. But getting people out of jail, she did not use any legal savvy to do it. She used her connections and her platform, which I give her.
Right.
I give her all the props for it. Okay, but she didn't do actual lawyer work to get people out of jail. She just did, I'm a celebrity, I have a platform, I know people, and I'm going to connect people to people, and I'm going to keep talking about it until somebody listens to me. That is a big difference than going to law school, doing the work, being a lawyer. I mean, in all.
But imagine what she would have done if she did.
In all, deference to Kim Kardashian, I don't think, somebody would get arrested and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to call Kim Kardashian to be my lawyer. I don't think, would you want us standing up for you?
Listen, you never know. If she has that much pull without being a lawyer, well, think about the pull that she'll have once she becomes a lawyer.
Well, there's a difference between pull and making an argument before a judge. Those are two different things.
I mean, but
I just think the reality of she thought it would be easy to be a lawyer. It's not as easy as you would think.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Yeah, she said she spent 6 weeks straight, 10 to 12 hours a day studying, and she did not pass.
I feel bad for her.
You feel bad for her.
That's okay, Kim. That's okay.
You're
doing great, sweetie.
Do I feel bad for her?
Great, sweetie. Yeah, she tried.
I'm sure she tried. It's hard to feel bad for her, but yes, she did try. I don't feel good. I don't feel good that she didn't. There's a difference between.
Right.
There's a difference between saying, I'm not happy that sure, why not?
Listen, if she wanted,
but to say I feel, I don't. It's hard to feel bad for Kim Kardashian.
Well, it's a human being. I've become a person of, just like putting myself in their shoes. If she wanted to become a lawyer to do good for, the community, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
All right. Do we want to talk about Lizzo or Chrissy Teigen? Last one. Vanessa.
I mean,
Lizzo.
Those are tough. I love them both.
Who?
But Lizzo,
talk about Lizzo because that's a good little. All
right, so what's going on with celebrity fitness guru Jillian Michaels. She's not backing down from the viral clip from January 2020 appearance on BuzzFeed's AM to DM. The Biggest Loser coach said of Lizzo during the interview, "Why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? Because it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes."
Oh, that's what we're not going to do.
Yeah.
That is for sure what we're not going to do.
So listen, not saying that I agree with what she said at all, but hear me out here. What she was trying to say.
Are we going to disagree again?
No.
Okay.
No, because I see what she was saying with, okay, we're so used to just like, body positivity and celebrating who you are and just loving the skin you're in. I think that she was wrong with how she delivered it. You should always love the skin that you're in, we're supposed to support each other. But you had people like Monique, who was a really, really, really big in weight comedian, who would always shun and talk smack on skinny girls and oh, you need a big girl, all you skinny girls shut up type of stuff. And when that health started deteriorating, she changed the whole script, and she started working out, eating healthy. Now that's her thing. She's all skinny, happy, and excited. So my thing was, I don't think we should really be celebrating the fact that, you're not taking care of your body and, actually celebrate health, and Lizzo celebrates being comfortable in her skin. So that is, that's what we should always do. But what I think that the fitness guru or whatever was trying to say was, it's not healthy. We're kind of teaching, like, say there's obese kids. You're looking up to, celebrities that are big, and you're like, okay, it's okay for me to be obese, but it's not, especially in the Black culture with high blood pressure, hypertension, all of that.
In a way, I think I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I would say this, and tell me if this is what you're saying. Okay, if we go back to Naomi Osaka and about having mental health issues, okay, I think it's great that Lizzo celebrates her body and she feels good within her skin, because many people who are overweight don't and have mental issues similar to Naomi Osaka, maybe from different perspective, but similar mental issues, because they don't feel good about themselves, they don't feel good about their body, they then get depressed, they then get sad, they get anxious because they eat something that they shouldn't have eaten, and blah, 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 blah. So it's good that Lizzo has good mental health. And I think for somebody who is obviously overweight, that is a good attribute to have. And I think that's what is the celebration there.
Absolutely.
Obviously, having extra weight is always unhealthy. You can ask any doctor in the world. Is that what you're saying?
I think we're all...
Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. You have, just like I said, Monique, she celebrated her weight. She celebrated her eating style. She celebrated her lifestyle of just eating whatever she wanted until, she got sick and she had to lose the weight. So it's like, are you really celebrating that lifestyle, or are you just celebrating loving the skin that you're in? If you're celebrating loving the skin that you're in, that's fine. But then you have all these kids that are obese, and they're like, well, I can be like Monique because she loves being big and she loves to eat, but secretly she doesn't. So she's just saying that because that's what that's the life she's living. Until now she's skinny. She's skinnier than she was, and she's like, oh, I love my new body, and she's wearing all these new clothes and stuff. It's a whole different script from just 10 years ago.
What do you think, Vanessa? Because you have your Instagram account, and your Instagram account is all about fashion and feeling good and health and beauty, and you're obviously not overweight, and you show your skin too sometimes, and you're attractive woman. And what do you think from this whole entire thing?
I love the angle that Yo-Yo took on this entire thing, because what needs to be clear here is like what Lizzo's intention is. Monique was like such a perfect example, Yo-Yo, and like only you could do that. So I'm so glad that you initiated that, because she was like, that did take me back to those 2000 comedies where it was like, or even like a Good Burger, right? Like that whole culture was just like a whole thing. And yeah, like it's about being confident in your own skin, but I feel like anything else, and we're all adults here, like the guru should have checked out how she was gonna say that before she said it. We get like anything else. Not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, because we're all in agreement here that we shouldn't celebrate the unhealthy eating habits or unhealthy case, but sometimes it's even, everybody has different explanations. It'll be hormonal. Others have a harder time losing weight or whatever. But wherever you are in your process, just feel comfortable in your skin. And like, that's Lizzo's brand.
She just shouldn't have pinpointed Lizzo. That was the issue. Like, she shouldn't have taken Lizzo as an example. If you're going to talk about,
say general people who are overweight should look to lose weight.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Rather than point finger at one person to make them feel bad about themselves. Meanwhile, I just want to get back. I just see a comment here on YouTube by 1876 Grocery Store, who I guess is a call 1876 Grocery Store for all your grocery needs. But says, Uncle Brad, isn't it ironic? I don't know this for a fact, but let's assume Grocery Store is correct. Isn't it ironic that the president of the French tournament has refused to speak to the press on the issue? Shouldn't he be fined now too? And the answer is yes, he should speak. Absolutely. He should. I first read this that...
I love that.
If that's the case, yes, he should. Yes, he should.
I love that.
I first thought it was the president of France, and I'm like, well, no, the president of France doesn't have to speak on this. It has nothing to do with him. But then I'm reading it. The president of the French tournament. If that is the case, then yes, he should be.
I love it.
He should absolutely. You can't. Have one without the other. This has now become part of the French Open, and the president of the French Open of the tennis tournament needs to come out and have a press conference on it, and he should. Absolutely.
I agree.
So I wouldn't say it's ironic. It's wrong. He needs to. And then also, I don't know if this is a fact, but if it is, good for her. 876 Grocery seems to know a lot about this. Naomi made $55 million last year, so she'll be okay.
She will.
I think so. If she made, well, I don't know if she'll be okay mentally, but financially, she's all set for life, whether she plays another game of tennis or not. All right.
Yes.
What are we up to now? By the way, in today's Braducation, I discussed Stop and Frisk, also known as the Terry Stop, and the notion of probable cause. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. Stop and Frisk, known as the Terry Stop. When walking down the street, what do you do when a cop stops you? And when can a cop frisk you? Now, the first thing you need to know is that a police officer can stop you on the street and ask you questions in furtherance of their policing duties. The important thing to know, however, is when you are and when you are not free to leave, when you have the right to end that questioning and walk away. So when are you not free to leave when you're stopped by the police? Generally, there are two types of stops initiated by police in which you are not free to leave. First, the obvious one is the arrest. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. The notion of probable cause comes from the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. An unreasonable stop by a police officer and an unreasonable pat-down would be considered an unlawful search and seizure. Now, the Fourth Amendment is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. The second time that police can stop you is the Terry Stop, or more commonly known as the Stop and Frisk. When a police officer has what is called reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed by you, the officer may stop you and detain you for a reasonable period of time and ask you questions to confirm whether you committed a crime. But reasonable suspicion is not, I had a hunch, or something seemed fishy. If an officer stops you and ultimately arrests you because something seemed fishy to that officer, your case will be thrown out of court because it was an unreasonable stop. Rather, reasonable suspicion exists where the officer can point to specific and articulable facts taken together with rational inferences from those facts that leads the officer to believe a crime is being committed. And by the way, you can watch this Braducation and all of our Braducations in full by following Bradshaw Live on OnlyFans TV. I could be the only fully clothed lawyer on the entire site. It's absolutely free to follow us on at Bradshaw Live on OnlyFans. Jonathan and Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, sir,
Yes, sir.
I want to announce something.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to answer 14 immigration questions now. All right, let's go to Candy in Richmond, Virginia. Candy. Candy, you've been waiting for so long. How are you? Candy. She was listening to the show instead of her phone.
Are you hearing me? Hello?
I hear you
Hello?
now. How are you, Candy?
I'm good. I got a question. I'm sorry. I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
But I have a question. I put my mom documents in. I'm a naturalized citizen,
Right.
and I put in a petition for her. I'm waiting to her back. So I submitted affidavit and everything. My question is, I have somebody trying to come at me for garnishing my wages. But my thing is there any way during this process I can go ahead now and file bankrupt?
Yes.
Or it will affect the
No.
petition?
No. First of all, this is, somebody's trying to garnish your wages. That means you have a judgment against you. That's civil. It has nothing to do with immigration. You can file for bankruptcy. Filing for bankruptcy has nothing to do with the I-864 affidavit support. Nowhere on there does it ask, have you ever filed for bankruptcy, or what your credit rating is, or do you have a judgment against you? The only thing they ask is, let me see your tax returns, let me see a job letter, do you earn 125% above the poverty level?
Okay, and I have another person along with me
Yes.
that did the affidavit too, so it's two people.
You're
she
going to
have
be
on
fine.
her.
You'll be fine. If you need to file for
Okay.
bankruptcy, do what you need to do.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Let's go to Keisha in Miami. Keisha.
Hello.
Hi, Keisha. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I got married in 2020. That is March 3rd, 2020. I got
Okay.
my green card in January of 2021,
Right.
and I got a 10-year. Is
Okay.
that a problem?
You got married when?
2020. That's March 2020.
And you got your green card in
My
January
10-year, and I got a 10-year green
Okay,
card
so they
instead of a 2-year.
they made an error. So in the computer system, you have a 2-year conditional green card. You have a
Okay.
physical card that says 10 years. It's a typographical error. Okay,
Okay.
so if, let's say you go to file for citizenship in 3 years, not only are they going to deny your citizenship, but they're going to also say you've been illegal for the last year and look to put you in deportation when it has nothing to do with your fault. You were following the 10-year green card. So what you need to do, in all honesty, is file an I-90 for a replacement green card that was issued to you incorrectly, and you need a new conditional green card with a 2-year expiration date. And then 90 days before the 2 years, you can file the I-751. Or if you choose to, you don't have to replace the green card. Just know in your head 90 days before, you got to file an I-751 before the end of your 2-year anniversary.
I don't have to replace it?
I said you should replace it,
Oh,
but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. You still have a green card. At the end of
can
the
I travel with it? That's what I really want to know, because I have a family emergency and I don't know if it's going to deny me coming back into the country.
you can travel with it, absolutely. You're a lawful resident. You have proof of a green card to get on an airplane. You'll come back into the airport. They may give you a couple of questions. Wait, why do you have a 10-year? You're supposed to have a 2-year. Well, this is what they issued to me, but they're going to let you back in.
Okay, thank you so much, because I have a family
Go.
emergency and
Go.
I have to
Go,
travel.
go, and good luck. But you'll be fine.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right? Okay, Keisha. But remember, at the
Right.
end of the 90 days before the 2nd-year anniversary, file an I-751.
Yes, I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah. Okay?
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Bye.
Okay. Ola in Dallas, Texas. Ola.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I really want to say a very big Thank you for everything you're doing. I've been following your show for like a year now.
Oh, thanks.
And I have a very, very quick question to
Sure.
ask. I applied for VAWA in November and got a receipt notice in December. In January, I got a prima facie. But when I did the filing, I filed for the work permit and the adjustment of status as well. But up till now, I haven't gotten any letter for the fingerprints for the adjustment of for the work authorization as yet.
Did you get receipt notices? Did you get receipt notices?
Yes, I got receipt notices in December.
Okay,
all of them.
Yeah, everything got delayed because of COVID and fingerprinting. Hopefully, it'll happen for you very shortly. If you don't hear anything by the end of the summer, then give me a call. But everything is delayed, unfortunately. Don't be overly worried.
Oh, okay. Because I was
if you're concerned, call the 1-800 number and just make sure. The only thing you got to make sure is that they mail something out to you that you didn't receive. So you can call
I call that number, but I never get to speak to anyone, like almost all the time. I just only get to speak to like the machine, and after the machine hangs up, without
so then your other option, you have two more options, or one more option, is go online and make an InfoPass appointment. You're in Dallas, Texas. Go down to the local immigration office, show all your documents, and ask them to check and make sure everything is okay. The other thing you can do is, if it's a hardship to you, submit a hardship letter that you need your work permit to support your family or something like that, to see if you can expedite it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck.
Another second question I want to ask you, right? It's for a friend of mine. A friend of mine applied for asylum. She's a lady, and she gave birth like about 2 years ago to a U.S. citizen child. So she wants me to ask you, do you think having a child would help her get the asylum?
It has nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Mira in Atlanta. Mira.
Hello.
Hi, Mira.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for updating and educating everybody. God bless you.
My pleasure. What can I do to help you today?
Yeah, I have a question. My friend was put under deportation because of she put in asylum, and after she get married and she withdraw the case. But I know there was something like I don't know what was going with immigration. But later they terminate. She was supposed to go to the court, and later they terminate her deportation order. So I'm asking, what's she gonna do now? Because she went for I-130 and I-145. It was approved, but they said they were not able to give her the green card that time because she was on.
If she's in removal. Mm-hmm. You need to do the final adjustment before the immigration judge. So
yeah, but later on, they like few weeks ago, they sent her a letter that the case is terminated, is withdrawn, like they terminate the deportation.
If it's terminated, then go back to USCIS, show that there's an absolute termination of the removal. If it's terminated, you're no longer in deportation, and immigration has to issue the green card.
After she go back for the interview, which she did before,
yes. And then write immigration, here's a copy of the termination letter. Please reschedule me for a new interview. You have to give me the green card now.
Okay. And the other thing is, her daughter is processing. The daughter was married to a U.S. citizen, and the daughter's I-130 is processing. So how long is going to take for that thing to be approved? Because the father is a U.S. citizen. The stepfather is a U.S.
It should take a year and change, a year and few months, a year, something like that, 12, 14, 15 months. If it's more than 12, 14, 15 months, then something is amiss, and someone should give me a call.
Okay. The other thing is, the last question is, the daughter over there, she's doing nothing, but she wanna apply here for university, but she's not sure since her
they won't give her a student visa because she has an I-130 pending. So she just has to wait it out.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
God bless you and your entire team.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Maria in Las Vegas. Maria.
Hello.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
How are you, Brad?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's very hot here.
In Las Vegas.
104 degrees.
Oh my gosh, you're melting, Maria. Stay inside in the air conditioning. What can I do to help you today?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
My daughter petitioned the father. She is an American citizen, and she petitioned the father in the Philippines.
Yes.
And the I-130 was approved. But then they asked to fill up some forms online because we applied it online. So to have his interview in the Philippines and to have his other documentations be submitted.
Right.
While filling up the forms through online, because he doesn't know how to fill up, he asked his son, to fill up some documents for him. So, there was a question there that it says, have you been issued a U.S. visa? And he answered no. But actually, the father was already had a visa before, a tourist visa, and he was able to go to the United States.
All right, so you got to fix it.
How can you fix that?
Well, if you can't go back online to fix it,
it was already submitted.
Okay,
and,
so you can write a letter to the National Visa Center and upload it, and just say, I made an error on my forms. I'll correct it at the interview, but my son completed it, and he didn't know that I had a visitor's visa before. Explain exactly what you told me, and he signs it.
So I have to address a formal letter?
Yeah, you can do it in a formal letter, and then he can fix it at the time of the interview. Before the interview starts, he can say, I need to make a change.
Okay. So
when he goes to the embassy.
If he won't do that, is there any effect if he will just correct it while after?
No, because he's fixing an error. He's not intentionally making a misrepresentation.
Yes.
All right, so that's the difference.
He has to fix it ahead of time.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right.
And another question is, my friend was, had a 10-year permanent residency here, and she wanted to petition her married and overage children, and she's only,
She could apply for her overage children if they're unmarried. She has to wait to become a citizen to apply for her mother.
Oh, how about the children that are already married and overage?
Married, you can't file for married children as a permanent resident. She has to wait to become a citizen.
Okay, that clears me up. So she should be American citizen before she can
file for married children. Unmarried children, you can do it now.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God.
Stay cool.
I love you.
Thank you. Stay cool. Bye-bye. All right. Maggie in Long Branch. Maggie.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I just have 3 questions here.
Good.
If an asylum seeker should be successful, can that person file for their mom?
No, they have to be a citizen.
Say again?
They have to be a United States citizen to file for their mom.
Okay, but so when they're an asylum seeker, it doesn't
help mom. Doesn't help mom.
Oh.
You can only help. An asylum seeker can only add to their asylum case a spouse and children that existed at the time the asylum was approved.
Oh, so nothing for mom.
Nothing for mom.
Okay.
Now, mom can file, if mom makes it here, mom can file her own asylum or apply for refugee status from abroad. But in terms of this particular case, nothing.
Oh.
There's nothing from on
If one is here like since 2020 October, is that person would be able to be accepted, and if Mr. Biden plans go ahead?
I have no idea. Let's see what the plans are.
Okay, and the last question, is there any other way persons could get green card other than married?
Yes. You can get sponsored in a job. You can invest $1 million in a business. Asylum, which we were just talking about. Abuse. Victim of a crime. Probably others I can't think of off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So then maybe I'll have to get in touch with you.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let's go to Oscar in the Bronx. Oscar.
Yo, I'm Brad.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, how you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for everything you're doing for us.
My pleasure.
I have a question really quick. I applied for VAWA 2019.
Right.
And after 10 months, they approved my case. We had to ask me, I can say, the therapy stuff. But they approved the case last July.
Great.
28th July 2020.
Great.
So my question is, I would like to know that when should I expect the interview?
Probably a year from the time they got the approval. So it's probably sometime this summer.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you filed a joint adjustment in the I-360. It's about a year behind.
Yeah, I already applied for the travel document and also the working authorization. Right. So right now I have a new travel document. It's pending online. I just applied last 2 months ago.
Okay, yeah, so I'm sure you'll get it. But I'm assuming you filed the adjustment and the I-360 simultaneously. The I-360 was approved. So usually the adjustment interview will come about 1 year later.
Oh, okay, I got it. So I'm still in the wedding with my wife, but I would like to divorce. But after that, I would like to know that let's say that if I go to the interview and I get a green card, can I bring my girlfriend here?
You can marry her, yeah.
Okay, if I marry her.
Yes.
But so if we get married because she's living in West Africa.
Yeah.
So let's say that I divorce here and I go there and I marry her. How long should I wait to bring her here?
You file the next day after you marry her. It'll take about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Best of luck, Oscar. Let's go to Michael in Philly. Michael. Michael, how are you?
Oh, hi. I'm fine. Thank you.
What's going on?
Yeah, my question is I had filed for adjustment, a marriage adjustment status in 1996.
Right.
But it got denied in 2005 because of a conviction. I got a criminal conviction vacated.
What was the conviction for?
Sale of a controlled substance. I got it vacated.
Why was it vacated?
It was vacated. I'm not quite sure. The lawyer got it vacated, actually.
Okay.
It was vacated because I think they didn't advise me of my immigration rights.
Okay. And now, what is the conviction? Nothing.
Now it's I'm clean. I don't have a record anymore. I'm as if nothing had happened.
Okay. So, and your question is what to me now? Can
My
you
question
refile
is,
again?
can I file an adjustment of status now under 245I?
Because you had a case filed back in 95?
Yes.
The answer is yes, you can, because it wasn't the underlying, it was the adjustment. You were ineligible, you were inadmissible based on the conviction, but the underlying I-130 was approved.
Was denied because of the conviction.
Right, but the I-130 was approved. Now, when you refile again, you may have another issue, which is even if you got the case vacated, you still could be denied a green card if they suspect that you were past, present, or future drug trafficker. So even though the case was vacated, they can still find reasons to deny you. It will be much more difficult, but they can find reasons to deny you. So you're going to need a very good lawyer to navigate you through this.
Okay, they still can deny me because they say I'm still a drug dealer.
Correct. There's a law that says that if you are past, present, future, not that you're a drug dealer today, but that you were back in the day. So if they have evidence to suspect that, even without a conviction, they could deny you.
Okay, I don't think they would have any evidence of that.
Well, you have a conviction for sale of drugs that was vacated, so there's some evidence somewhere.
Right, but the paperwork didn't really show that it was a jumbo
Okay,
paperwork,
okay,
and
fine.
it didn't
That's
show
right.
I was selling anything.
Okay, fine. So then they have to base it on the underlying facts of the case.
All right.
So that's why I said you need a lawyer to like kind of navigate your way through that.
Okay.
All right. Hold on if you need help. Let's go to Abby in Silver Spring, Maryland. Abby.
Abby. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Abby. How are you?
I'm all right. I have two questions.
Yes.
One, can a permanent resident son file for a mother?
No, you have to be a citizen.
Okay, good. Now, two, a quick one now. I went for my interview some weeks ago. Been married for almost 2 years. At the interview, of course, they asked questions. My husband was able to answer most of the questions he was asked. But I now noticed that after asking him the questions, regular questions about us, the interviewer now faced me. I'm the one adjusting my status. I was asking definite questions about my past marriage, my past divorce.
Right.
Asking about why the divorce took place. I should take him through the process. He said he was checking and he didn't find a legit divorce. You know, as in my divorce document was not legitimate, which it was.
Where are you from? Where are you from? Nigeria?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time any client of mine for the last 2 years has gone for an interview with immigration, the first thing they say is, your divorce is no good.
Yeah.
I have never been with a client for now 2 years from Nigeria where they say, your divorce is fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah. Every time, your divorce stinks. It's no good. It's a fraud. It's like as soon as they see you have a Nigerian passport. It's like the first thing out of their mouth is your divorce is a fraud.
Right.
So there are divorces that are fraudulent, but not every last one is, and there's divorces that are fraudulent from every part of the world. So I don't, So what you need to do is go to the Nigerian consulate and get it verified that this is a legitimate divorce, and if necessary, submit it.
The Nigerian consulate here.
The Nigerian consulate in the United States. That's where you start. They'll authenticate the divorce.
I would just go with the certificate and they will authenticate it.
Yeah, to ask them to authenticate it, saying you have a problem with immigration.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I now asked him what I should do. He said, well, they're going to write me a letter on whatever they decide and all that. He just told me that offhandedly.
Okay.
So am I
they're going to do an investigation for the next 2 years and come up with nothing. There's some guy in Nigeria who's going to go around to the courts to see if it's legit. You can go to the consulate and get it, authenticated, but until you hear from immigration, there's not a lot you can do. What I'm suggesting to all of my Nigerian clients is before you go into your interview, make sure your divorces are authenticated. Because the first thing out of the interviewer's mouth is going to be fraud divorce.
Yeah, but in this case that I've already gone and they've not sent an official document.
Yeah, so so now you got to wait. But what's going to happen is they're going to most likely send you what's called a notice of intent to deny. Okay. And the notice of intent to deny is going to say your divorce is a fraud. So if you know that's already going to happen because the guy told you, I did a search and this divorce doesn't exist, or it's a fraud, or whatever he told you. So you know that's what's going to happen. Go get your divorce authenticated, so when you get that letter, you can just respond very, very calmly. Okay.
Yeah, but the process of authentication, is it just to walk into the consulate? Or
I would call the Nigerian consulate and speak to them and say, how do I do it?
Oh, okay.
I want to just go walk in and say, here's my divorce. Go call them and ask them what to do. And they'll get you in touch with the right people.
Wow. But to still ask, the way they check these things, they should be able to get a feedback as in, this is true, this is not true.
Yes, they'll go to the courts and confirm whether it's true or not. I'm just telling you what you can do to protect yourself. I don't know what they're going to come back with.
Yeah, because the when I check the update online, it says interview completed.
Yeah,
you're going to be reviewed.
Mark my words. Okay, as I sit here right now, you are going to be getting a notice of intent to deny, and they're going to say your divorce is no good. So go get it authenticated.
I'll do that. Thank you so much, Brad. Yeah, good.
Josephus in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes, good afternoon, Brad.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for all your good work.
My pleasure.
Yes, I just have a few questions.
Yes.
If your wife refused to go with you to an interview, and then you receive a denial letter, what can you do?
One of three. You're in a position like anybody else, okay? In any situation where your marriage broke down before you got your conditional green card, you and everybody have three options. One is make nice with your wife, get back together with her, refile again. And hopefully this time she shows up and you prove it's a bona fide marriage. Second is she won't make nice with you. You file a divorce. You file a divorce. Let me finish. You file a divorce. You fall in love again. Nobody says you can't fall in love again. And you try again. Or if there was physical abuse or extreme emotional abuse, you file a VAWA. Those are everybody's three choices. Make up with your wife, get divorced, file a VAWA. You pick.
Okay, because we personally stay together. Can we do refiling? Because the letter they sent to me, the denying letter, that I cannot appeal it.
No, but appeal and refiling is two different things.
Oh,
okay, because it says yes, you cannot appeal it. That is correct. But that just because you cannot appeal it doesn't mean you can't refile it. Those are two different words.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So.
Thank you.
Get back together with your wife. Make nice. Do a VAWA. Get a divorce.
We to get up personally.
So good. So keep it calm. Keep your life calm until you get through. Be smart.
Do you have a branch here?
Do I have? I operate in all 50 states.
Okay. Can I get your branch number from here?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Morgan in San Bernardino, California.
Hi, Brad. Good evening.
Hi, Morgan.
I have a question. I came to the United States in 2017, and I got married in October 2018. I got arrested for domestic violence and vandalism in 2019, and the domestic violence, I wasn't charged with the domestic violence, but I was charged with the vandalism, which was eventually dismissed. I filed for VAWA in 2020, and within 3 months of filing for VAWA, I got my work permit, and in less than 2 months after filing, I got my prima facie, and prima facie was renewed for 6 months.
Sounds good so far. Sounds good so far.
It was renewed for 6 months recently.
So Morgan, what's the problem today?
I am wondering if that arrest is going to affect the VAWA case.
No, because you got arrested once. The case was dismissed. I assume you have no other criminal records.
No other records.
You have to show you're a person of good moral character. Getting one arrest and having it absolutely dismissed does not mean you're a bad person. Having multiple arrests is a different situation. But one arrest, you're okay.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
You're welcome. Let's go to Milton in Boston, Massachusetts. Milton.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. So I'm from Brazil. I had a deportation, and I married to an American citizen.
Yes.
And we were married for 6 years. I got a waiver. I got a marriage interview. I passed.
Good.
But we got a divorce last month, and my lawyer, he's applying for VAWA. So my question is, can I get a positive answer about my case with a deportation?
I'm a little confused what happened with the deportation. You were previously ordered deported?
Yeah.
You have an order of deportation.
Yeah, but when I get married,
you got married, you got a waiver of what?
For deportation.
You got a waiver?
Yeah.
No, if you had a previous order of deportation, you would have to have made a motion to reopen.
say they reopened my case. I have a marriage interview, and then they gave me the waiver.
You got a waiver? Why did you need a waiver?
Because I had a deportation, no?
No, you didn't do a waiver. If you were ordered deported and you were still here with an order of deportation, you would have made a motion to reopen your case with an approved I-130 visa petition. You may have needed you may have needed a waiver for some other underlying reason, but you would have done that after your adjustment would have been filed and adjudicated. So you didn't get to the waiver section yet. So it sounds like you had an order of deportation, you reopened your case, you got an I-130 approved, the marriage broke up, and now you're filing a VAWA. Whatever process you would have gone through, because I'm not 100% certain procedurally where you're at, I'm trying to kind of read your mind and read the tea leaves, but whatever your lawyer was going through for an adjustment case based on a bona fide marriage, you can also do that same process for a VAWA case. So in both situations, if there was a process to get a green card with this deportation through a bona fide marriage, there's also a similar process for VAWA. Does that make you feel better?
Thank you so much.
All
Do
right.
you know how long it can take the process?
I don't know. I don't understand where you are in the process because you're talking about waivers that you wouldn't have gotten yet. But you may want to have a second, have a consultation with me, and I'll be happy to figure out what's going on. So hold
Okay.
on.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right. Let's go to Nerland in Fort Myers, Florida. Nerland.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. My question is, I came to the United States when I was 5 years old.
Right.
Now I'm 45. I had applied for my citizenship because my green card was about to expire. Now I took the test. They denied me for the green card. I mean, they denied me for the citizenship, but they renewed my green card. Now,
Why did they deny your citizenship?
Well, I have a 25-year-old felony.
Okay.
It's 25
and
years
then
old.
did you get a waiver for the green card?
No.
You were in removal at one point?
Well, I received a letter in the mail for deportation.
And what happened?
I just received that last year I received it.
Okay, so you haven't been to court yet? You haven't been to court yet?
No, I have to go to court in September of this year.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a few questions. I'll tell you why everything happened. If you have a conviction for an aggravated felony, and that conviction is after November 12th, 1990, that bars you from ever becoming a citizen. So if this is an aggravated felony, it happened after November 12th, 1990, done for citizenship. Now, if your aggravated felony is between November 1990 and May of 98, lucky for you, you're not mandatory detention, which is probably...
Yeah, it was in 96.
Okay. Which is why you weren't arrested and put in removal at your citizenship interview.
Okay.
Now, if your conviction was before 97 and you pled guilty to this aggravated felony and you did less than 5 years in jail and you have no criminal record after that, you're eligible for something called a 212C waiver, which is 212C, that's what you're going to do, which is you have to prove to a judge, you're going to need a good lawyer, but you're going to have to prove to a judge that you've been a resident for more than 7 years, and obviously you have been. That for the last 7 years, good moral character. You have 25 years, good moral character. And that there would be a hardship to yourself and your family if you were deported. And I'm sure that would be the case. And then after you do all of that, the judge then gets to step two, which is weigh all the reasons to deport you on one side, weigh all the reasons to keep you in America on the other side. What weighs more? If the reasons to keep you in America weigh more than the reasons to deport you, you win. If the reasons to deport you weigh more than the reasons to keep you, you lose. So what's the reasons to deport you? 25 years ago, you did a bad thing, and you did your punishment. Boom. Okay, it goes like that. And then what's a good thing? Well, you've been a resident for 30 plus years. You have family here. You have nowhere to live back home. There would be an economic hardship. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Look at all this stuff that we're loading on the good stuff without even knowing anything about you. All right? I already know half your case without even knowing anything about you. So, but that's what you're going to need to do. So that's why you are where you are. Now.
Okay.
Now, 1 second, Nerland. Silly you. And I say silly you in this way. I'm being nice about it. Okay? You should never have filed for your citizenship not knowing what the consequences are of this conviction. Because you had no idea what the consequences are of filing for your citizenship. You didn't know what the consequences are from having an aggravated felony from 25 years ago that you wind up in deportation. So I could say something harder, but I won't because you're a nice lady, but silly you. You should not have done that. All right, but hold on 1 second, okay? And we'll help you. All right, let's go to Mark in Kingston, Jamaica. Mark.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good evening, Uncle Brad. I have a question I want to ask.
What's going on?
Our mom filed for, she became a citizen and she filed for us back in 2016. And she passed away in 2018. And last year, December, we got a letter from NBC. And
okay, so let me ask you a question. First of all, my condolences on your mom. What happened first? Because it all depends on what happened first. Your mom filed for you. She's a U.S. citizen, and she passed away. And the question is, what happened first? Did she pass away and then your visa petition was approved? Not did you hear from the National Visa Center, or
she passed away in 2018. We got an answer in 2020.
In 2017?
2020.
So you never heard from immigration until 2020? Or you only heard from, because you said I heard from the National Visa Center. That's not, I'm saying, when USCIS sent the approval in 2020?
Told us that it was approved, yes.
Okay,
and then
so unfortunately, so I have bad news, unfortunately, then. If you're out of the United States, and your mom files for you and she passes away before the approved visa petition gets approved, there's nothing we can do. We got to figure out a new way to get you a green card. Had it been the other way around, that the petition was approved and then your mom passed, then we could have finished the case. If you were in the United States, it wouldn't have mattered. So the laws are different depending on where you are also. But unfortunately for you, we got to figure out a new way.
Okay.
So I'm sorry about that, but you may want to have a consultation. So hold on 1 second, okay?
All right.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered here live on Bradshaw Live, you can always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, I will try my best to answer your immigration questions. Sometimes I tell you, we need to speak. Many times I answer your immigration questions. Just follow me at Real Brad Bernstein, drop me a DM, and I'll be happy to help you as best as I can. You can also follow us at Bradshaw Live. If you follow us at Bradshaw Live, like I always say, you can't handle 2 hours, but you can handle 30 seconds. Well, at Bradshaw Live on Instagram is the place to be. And you can also follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. You follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. Of course, you get all of our best speed rounds. Sometimes I blow up, sometimes I don't. But even when I blow up, I'm still back here the next day somehow. A cat with 9 lives. You can also follow us on OnlyFans like you heard earlier in the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow and subscribe, I guess. What is it called? Follow and like on, I think it's follow and like on Facebook, and like and subscribe on YouTube. I think I got it right now. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do you got?
Yes, you guys can follow me at Giannis Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak to former farm worker Adolfo Gonzalez, who, despite arriving undocumented to the United States from Mexico and working in the fields of California for 18 plus years, always kept his eyes on the goal of education, graduating with his bachelor's degree at the ripe old age of 58 years.
But first, in honor of June and Immigration Heritage Month, We will now hear some of the unique and personal immigration stories that people have shared with us.
My grandparents came from Russia, and my wife's parents came from Italy. They immigrated back in 1910, and they became citizens, and life started from there. I'm third generation immigrant.
Nice.
As we all are.
My immigration story was blind love. I met my husband online. Yeah, they say love at first sight. I say love at first email. It's been 12 years, happily married, 2 kids.
We came in 2006. We came as a whole family, and I was 14 when I came here, and we were chasing the American dream for a better future.
I came here 8 years ago because I'm married with my husband. And my cousin Nigel, he came here because study here, and then he decided to live here.
My family, they're actually of Ecuadorian descent. I'm the first member of my family to be born here in America. Well, basically it all starts with my grandpa. He was the one who initiated the start to move to the United States. Him and my grandmother had 12 kids. They brought them here to the States. The economic standpoint at that time wasn't a good one. They struggled to get to where they are today, but thanks to God and everything, everything went well, and I was able to be born here along with my other cousin who was also born in America. So it's honestly been a great journey, thanks to him, thanks to my grandpa.
All right, let's check out social media. What's going on there, guys? And ladies. Excuse me, Vanessa. Guys and ladies. Excuse me.
Yes. All right. Mark Lowe is the first Brad Squad VIP member. In order for you guys to become a Brad Squad VIP member, it's super easy. Just go on Facebook, join by putting Brad Squad in the search engine, and then you'll see a page that comes up. It's a group where you have to press request and just to join, and then we will accept it. The best thing that you could do is we are going to put a post up every day saying the first 5 comments or questions that we get, we're going to ask them before any of the social media questions. So Mark Lowe is the first VIP member saying, if I am a U.S. citizen turning 21 this October and want to sponsor my parents for a green card, however, I'm still a student and don't have a job, can I have my cousin who's serving in the U.S. Marines function as my co-sponsor?
Absolutely. It could be anybody who could be a co-sponsor. As long as they're a citizen or a resident.
Next one comes from Ganana Slammer, another Brad Squad VIP member. What are the repercussions of working without work authorization? I am married to a U.S. spouse and waiting to file.
You're working out of status. You're working undocumented. You could always, it doesn't make you any more or less documented, legal or not legal. Working out of status, working undocumented doesn't prevent you from getting a green card, being married to a U.S. citizen. Really, the bigger harm is to the employer than to you, because they're the ones who potentially could be fined.
Okay, number 3, Joseph Sokol, another VIP member. Can a person on an E2 visa who has an EB2 I-485 pending since October 2020 and an approved I-140 since December 2020 be eligible for legal prospective immigrant status?
Potentially, we'll have to see what it is, but they have an EB2 adjustment that's about to get a green card, so I'm not sure, why they would need lawful prospective status if they're about to get their green card. But that's the Biden amnesty thing. We'll see if it passes.
Anna Lee Parker, another Brad Squad VIP member. I have an in-person appointment at my local field office for an emergency advance parole, I-131. My husband, the one filing for me, will not be able to take me to the appointment because he has to go out of state and I will have to go alone. Will this be a problem? Also, will I need a waiver to come back into the country?
It's not a problem. You don't need your husband to appear with you for the advance parole. You do not need a waiver to return.
Sherry Ben, Brad Squad VIP member. My interview is coming up and I made a mistake when I was filing the N-400. I said I have no arrest, but I do have a DWI. Will I get my citizenship?
You better fix it at the time of the interview, and I don't know whether or not you'll get your citizenship. I would have to review your criminal records and let you know.
Kelsey Ozario on YouTube with, what if ICE fails to give you a copy of your reinstatement order and you're scared they never send a copy to an asylum officer? Will my husband be able to stay in the U.S. if we have a son?
I think there was a similar question I answered in the pre-questions. The answer is your husband has nothing. It has nothing to do with your son. It has nothing to do with whether ICE gave it to your husband or not. It's 15 days from the time that ICE reinstates the deportation order. You have a right to contest it, or you have a right to file some sort of convention against torture.
Okay, got Jillian Ross on Instagram saying, I need to know, okay, so I received my NVC welcome letter. Need to know what to do next because my lawyer isn't keeping me up to date.
The NVC welcome letter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you get a welcome letter, that means you've got a green card. So that seems like you're done. I'm not sure what you need else to do after that. If you're talking about, I'm not sure what they mean by welcome letter. There's a lot of different welcome letters. Let's assume it was green card.
Okay.
Okay. Jamana Tawari on YouTube. I am a U.S. citizen. What is the 5-year rule for remarrying and sponsoring a new spouse?
I answered that one as well. It was, it's 5 years. I said you're a U.S. citizen. It has nothing to do with the 5 years.
Amanda Ori on YouTube. My friends recently applied for asylum in the U.S. and I want to visit them in December. Am I allowed to visit?
Who did you want to visit your friend who applied for asylum? If you have a visitor's
in the U.S.
If you have a visitor's visa, you can come and visit. But you can't go to the U.S. Embassy and say, I would like to go visit my friend who's applied for asylum. You're not going to get the visitor's visa.
O'Neill O'Brien Street on YouTube. I was married in April of 2021. How long do I have to wait to file my papers?
You can file right now. 2 more.
God working for me on Facebook. If my wife refuses to attend my interview with me and I'm afraid I'll be denied because of it, what do I do?
Why does she refuse? Is it a situation where there's abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse? Is it a situation where she just doesn't want to come? I don't know. I need to know a lot more, and then I'll tell you what to do. Last one.
Last one comes from Hicham Delai from YouTube. I applied for my spouse and minor children in 2017 with my green card. They are still in Morocco. I think you answered this one. They're still in Morocco waiting for their interviews, and I'm about to become a citizen. When will they get their interview date?
I don't know when they're going to get their interview date. Ask me one more.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Yo-Yo.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I can ask. Okay, so Jay Pereira on YouTube. If I'm applying for DV 2021 lottery from within the U.S., should I send a copy of the receipt from the DOS to USCIS for the diversity visa lottery processing fee of $330?
Yes, because you got to show you won the lottery. How else are you going to show you won the lottery? All right. Adolfo Gonzalez is a prime example of someone who has worked to achieve his American dream. After arriving in the United States from Mexico without documentation, Adolfo worked for years in celery fields to support his family in California's Salinas Valley. But the former farm worker never gave up on education. He earned his bachelor's degree in Spanish from California State University at age 58 and now teaches and advocates for educational opportunities. Let's check it out. My goal is straightforward, to make the law use. Adolfo Gonzalez is the quintessential American dream story. Adolfo is originally from the rural Mexican village of San Andreas Ya, where only the indigenous language Zapoteco is spoken. In between working to help his impoverished family, Adolfo learned Spanish. At age 26, he crossed over to the United States in order to support his widowed mother and family back in Mexico. Undocumented in the United States for years, Adolfo toiled in the fields of California, picking celery for more than 18 years. But in that time, he never gave up on his education. He learned English, gained his general equivalency diploma, and graduated from California State University, Monterey Bay, with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. Adolfo joins me today to discuss his journey from poverty to a higher education and the American dream and his plans for the future. Adolfo, welcome. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, so you are currently now in Salinas, California. You're married. You have 2 grown daughters, grandchildren, but you didn't start off there. Tell me where you started off in life.
I'm originally from Oaxaca, Mexico. I was born in an indigenous community. It's called San Andres Ya'a, where an indigenous language is spoken. It's called Zapoteco. It's like 3,000 words, and that's it. It's a small language.
But when you grew up, you didn't speak Spanish.
Correct. When I grew up, my primary language was Zapoteco. Later on, I learned Spanish when I moved to Oaxaca City when I was 8 years old, because my mom told me you have to go to the city in order to get an education, to learn Spanish. I started only second grade in my hometown, because there were no the whole elementary school in San Andres.
When you went to live in Oaxaca, which is a bigger city, you didn't speak Spanish, you were a kid, you had to work. How far in education did you get there?
I started third and fourth grade. And then after 2 years, my mom told my father that I was so young to live alone and work and study. So they took me back to my hometown. Luckily, at this time, we had a full elementary school that consists of the 6 years. Once I got in my hometown again, I finished my elementary school in my hometown, San Andres.
At what age did you come to America?
After I finished my elementary school in my hometown, I stayed in my town for like 4 years, and then I had the opportunity to go back again to Oaxaca City and study. The middle school is called Internado. It was a school that the government provided. I had a lot of trouble learning Spanish, and actually this school was focusing in learning Spanish.
Right.
In order to go back to our community and help people to learn.
They were actually teaching you Spanish as a second language.
Exactly.
Were you able to be conversational in Spanish at that point?
Yes. At that time, I was able to talk Spanish, not fluently, but almost. I went back to my community and worked for 1 year, helping to my community, teaching
Spanish.
them
How old were you? How old were you at this point?
Like 19 years old.
What made you come to America?
Once I realized that the money that I made to support my family as a teacher, it was very, very low. And by that time, my father died, and I decided that I need to do something different in order to get more money.
How did you come to America?
Once I took the decision to come to the United States, like many people do, first I stopped in San Quintin, Ensenada, and I worked a whole season picking tomato in Ensenada. After that, in 1986, I came to San Diego, and I paid just $20 to the coyote.
What did you do in California when you got here?
I worked in the field picking strawberry for a whole season. After that, in 1987, I moved to Salinas, California, where I live current time.
And at some point you met your wife?
I got married in 1991. Then in 1992, in May, we had the first baby, Marie. In 1996, my second daughter, Blanca.
How did you ultimately become legal in America? What process did you go through?
At the beginning, it was not my intention to marry in order to get a legal status, because my feeling was to go back with my family.
Right.
But once we had the first baby, my wife suggested me to apply for.
You got it through your wife?
Yes.
You paid a penalty
Yes.
fee. Right. Because the penalty fee came about 93 or 94. So you must have paid the penalty fee. Exactly.
Exactly.
So, and that's how you got your green card, and then ultimately you became a citizen. How long did you work in the fields?
I work in the field, basically harvesting celery for about 18 years.
Right. Why did you decide that you wanted to go back to school, and what were you trying to accomplish?
It was about 1995, 1996 when I decided to do something different. and also because the money, it was not enough for my family. So I took the decision to learn English, and I enrolled at Salinas Adult School. It's a free school in Salinas. We don't have to pay anything.
Right.
Just go to school and learn English.
And you did this in between the seasonal picking of the celery, correct?
Correct. When my seasonal jobs end up in December, I took advantage like 2 months and go to learn English in Salinas School.
How long did it take you to learn English?
I would say it took long time. I went to school only like 2-3 months on my vacation.
And then you eventually said, I'm going to go get a GED.
Once I enrolled at Salinas Adult School, I started learning English. At the same time, I took general classes.
I see.
Finally, I got my GED diploma and my basic English certificate in 2003.
So it took you 8 years.
Exactly.
To get basically the equivalent of a high school diploma. You had to take a test to pass. How did you motivate yourself that I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my GED?
My family, and as I told you, the money. Once I realized that I have to learn English in order to get a better job, so that was my motivation. Every time that I have trouble with the English, that inspired me to double my effort to learn English.
When you were going to get your GED, your children who were born in 91 and 93, they were going to school too. Daddy's studying, your children, everyone was studying all together?
Yes. Once I learned a few English vocabulary, I was able to help my daughter. When I got my diploma, I got another job as a driver truck.
What made you want to continue to go to college?
A professor in Salinas Adult School and my daughter and my family suggest me to continue my education. So I enrolled at Harner College. It's a community college that we have in Salinas, and I enrolled in this college in 2003. Harner College offer English classes too. So I continued learning, improving my English.
When did you take these classes? Because you now had a full-time job driving a truck and delivering food.
The English classes in Salinas Adult School was at night. Unfortunately, I dropped out my classes because somebody has to provide for the family, and I worked for full time. In 2015. I went back to Harner College again to get my associate degree. I got my associate degree in 2017. It took me 2 years.
And have you been in the same job all of these years, delivering food and truck, or did you switch jobs?
To have time to go to Harner College, I looked for another job. So I got a job in a car wash Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In order to have the whole week free for studying.
Recently graduated with your bachelor's degree, correct, in Spanish?
Exactly. I graduated with academic honor. I decided to get my bachelor degree in Spanish because something that I noticed is in my community, my people, they don't want to speak Spanish anymore, including my daughter. And I started formally Spanish.
How old are you today when you graduated?
58.
It took you 25 years to go from a man who had no education, picking celery seasonally in San Diego, to you're a U.S. citizen, you have a bachelor's degree, you have an associate's degree. How has this changed the quality of your life?
Now I have an offer to work as a Spanish teacher.
Wow, it's amazing. You think back and you're like, wow, I can't believe, how this all worked out.
At this point, I think the education that I get will provide economic stability for my family, because this was my goal and still my goal since I came to the United States. I feel like I achieved the American dream for me at this time.
You're going back for a master's degree, is that correct?
Correct. After I passed my CBS test, I'm looking for everything that I need to in order to apply for master's degree.
You really are. When somebody says, you know, the American dream, you come here as an immigrant, you work hard, and you become a success. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. I applaud you on the self-motivation to do it. It's very, very difficult. What do you say to somebody, you know, because there's a lot of people watching our show that maybe don't have a high school diploma, and maybe they're in their 30s or 40s. What do you say to somebody who says, I can't go back to school, I can't learn, I'll never learn as an adult?
I would tell them that never is too late to get our dreams.
Adolfo Gonzalez, it's an amazing job.
Thank you for having me with you, and I would like to take this minute to encourage everybody to stay focused in school, because I always say, if I can do it at my age 58, I think everybody can do it, and I recommend anybody, don't give up, stay focused.
Thank you very much again, Adolfo. I appreciate it, and good luck to you in your further endeavors as a teacher and your master's degree. You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again.
That's a nice story. I like that story. And
such a good one.
Yeah, I like that story.
Yeah.
So let's put 50 seconds on the clock. Let's show TikTok what we can do.
Let's do it.
You ready? Let's show Brad Squad what we can do. Let's show the world we can do 9 questions in 50 seconds and get a bunch of balloons. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Can a green card holder travel to Europe?
Yes, with a visa, if they need it.
Can a beneficiary travel internationally while waiting for an interview?
I don't know what beneficiary of what.
Can I work and pay taxes if I'm out of status?
Yes, you file a W-7 with a get a tax identification number with the 1040.
Can an immigrant fly in the U.S. with an overseas passport?
Yes.
Can lawyers make inquiries to USCIS for a client?
Absolutely. It's not going to do much, but yeah.
Does my lawyer need to apply for AOLs while my U visa is processed?
No, you got to wait for the U visa to be approved.
Can a VAWA green card holder file for their spouse?
Yes. If
Can I file for an I-1485 if I've chosen for counsel process?
If you're eligible.
Can I apply for a student visa with a pending I-130?
I mean,
Uncle Brad.
Where did we go wrong?
Yes or no?
It was me. It was me. It was me. Yes or no? Yeah, you can always apply. You're not going to get approved with an I-130 because an F1. All I needed to say was yes or no.
That's it.
and instead, I killed myself. So the answer is, yeah, you can apply. No, you won't get approved. Yes, you can apply. Yes, you will be denied. Or no, you will not get it.
See, couldn't you say that?
So the answer is you're not getting a visa. You're not getting a student visa with an I-130 pending because you've shown an immigrant intent. There's your answer.
Yes. Aww.
Yes, Jill says I'm like Kenny in South Park. I get killed every show, and then the next show I'm back alive.
Right. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, but I stumbled a little bit because there was a question
in the beginning
about that can you file a tax return, and it's yes, but I stumbled on the answer, so it's my fault. I gave the right answer, but I stumbled on it because I said yes. File a W-7 and with a 1040 to get a social, to get a tax ID number, and that's what I should have said. I think I said it backwards, but I had the answer W-7, 1040, and tax ID, but I think I said it backwards, so I stumbled on it a little bit. So my fault on that one. All right, we'll get him tomorrow.
We'll get him tomorrow.
And Julian, the TriCaster guy, says it's 8:30. We're getting the heck out of here. I didn't ask for comments of the day, but he started running them anyway. It's enough conversation. Comments of the day. It's 8:30. Let's go.
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from 1876 Grocery Store saying reality TV pays more. Kim K. Reality TV pays more. Kim K. It's okay. I want to be Brad's sidekick and can't make lemonades with the lemons. Dang.
No, I don't know, but that grocery store, I like it. I
like the grocery store.
By the way, do you know who the grocery store is? You know who the grocery store is? It's Terry the Real Schmooze from Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Apparently, she's incognito on YouTube as the grocery store.
I like the grocery store.
Terry the Real Schmooze from Facebook.
Okay, our next comment of the day comes from Clifford Gordon saying mental health is a big issue back in Jamaica that does not get enough attention either. Yeah, in a lot of places.
Excellent point. In a lot of places, even here in America, but even more so in other countries as well.
Yes. All right, our third comment of the day comes from Marcia McCalla saying, sometimes I hear Brad talk about ways to solve problems for these callers, and all I can say is, wow, Brad is good.
Literally, I feel that.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last one to wrap up today comes from Chesmisha Cater saying, hey, Brad, thumbs up for all the good work you're doing. I'm pretty sure you're well appreciated and your benevolence will never go unnoticed.
Oh, very nice. Thank you very much. All right, it's 8:35. We got to make like a tree and leave, and we'll be back tomorrow. Hump day. See you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?